had been dealing with depression during that time because I felt like I was not good enough. I was inside the house, in the basement, the lowest part of the house. And while I was in the lowest part of the house, I was in the lowest part of my mind. Because at this point, it's no point in me being here. Let me just go in. I think the easiest way to not deal with all this stuff that's going in my mind is just to eliminate myself out of the equation. I'll get out your way. Y'all can have it. I'm glad no one stopped me.
Ooh, that's good. I'm catching it.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I caught it.
I'm glad no one stopped me because if someone stopped me, I would have probably gone back to try to do it again.
Oh my God. Right there. Hello, family, and welcome to Armed with Your Testimony podcast, where we are unleashing the transformative powers of your God-given testimony. And yes, I said yours because each of you have unique experiences that God will use to impact and encourage the lives of others. And if you haven't guessed it already, I am your host, Tiffany. And I know you just met me, but I still want to ask one favor, and it's to subscribe to this YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms, and share this with someone. That way you can stay updated on all new monthly episodes when they drop. I really do hope that you enjoy this podcast. The episodes starts now. Before we welcome today's guest, I want to pause and honor something truly important. September is National Suicide Prevention Month. And if you've lost someone to suicide, please know that our hearts are with you. And if you're walking through a tough season right now, please know that you are never alone. And we are constantly lifting you up in prayer, trusting God for your healing and complete restoration. So hang in there, family. Watch the whole entire episode. Let's get into introducing our guest. Welcome to the podcast, my brother friend, Pastor Mike.
Hey, Tiff, good to be here. I'm so glad you had me on for this first show. Your very first one. I'm excited. Oh, yes, let's do this.
So it's good that you said the very first one, because I have to tell you how it came about that you became the first person on the show, right? Or podcast. I'm saying show. I'm saying show already.
You're speaking in advance.
Yes.
Speaking in advance.
But so when God gave me the vision for this podcast, I was nervous, just like I'm a little nervous now, but I was very nervous. Sure. And I was like, Lord, when do you want me to launch this podcast? And immediately he said September. And I said, September? It's May. That means I only have 4 months or 5 months to get prepared, get all the stuff that I need for the podcast, the equipment. I'm like, how can I make this happen in that short a time? Right? And so I said, okay, we're going to do it. Then he says, it's Suicide Prevention Month.
Yes.
And I got excited immediately because you just don't understand. I feel like this episode can be a lifeline for someone.
Absolutely.
A true lifeline. And if it is just one person see this and be encouraged, I've done my job.
Absolutely.
I've done my job and you've helped me do my job,
Absolutely.
right? So I got really excited about that. So then I said, Lord, who would be the first person? And immediately, I lied to you not, the video I took of you.
Yes.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yes.
2 years ago during praise and worship.
Yes.
And you gave like a snippet of your testimony. I never heard the full thing before.
Right.
So they're going to be hearing it the same time that I'm hearing it in its entirety.
It's time to tell my story.
It's time to tell your story. So I'm very excited. Again, thank you for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I know that you're very busy. You know, you got ministry, you got school for yourself, you got football, you got anniversaries coming up, and then everything jurisdictionally. Right? Coming up, but you took time.
Absolutely no, because I feel like we have to take time to talk about these things. I mean, while we're busy doing other things, someone is literally sitting there contemplating whether they want to live or not. So stopping everything you're doing to have these conversations are needed. So yeah, I don't care how busy I am. I will stop to have this type of conversation.
I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I really do. So y'all, I'm just going to let you know right now, this man is very humble, but he's a big deal. He's a powerhouse in ministry. And when I was going over your bio, I was so impressed. And I was like, do I even know you? Because I didn't even know you was
Yes.
born in South Carolina.
Yes,
Oh
Myrtle Beach,
my
South
God.
Carolina, Grand Forks, North Dakota. I mean, I'm sorry, Grand Strand Hospital, right there in Myrtle Beach. It was down the street from a base. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, my father was in the Air Force, and so it was literally down the
Mm-hmm.
street from there. And that hospital's still there. Every time we go, I try to pass
Try to
by
pass
just to see
by.
where I was conceived, where I was born. Hold on,
Where I was
conceived,
conceived.
where I was born, where I was. Yeah, so Myrtle Beach, that's my home.
So yeah, I was like, dang, I thought he was born in the DMV this whole time.
No, no, I'm a South Carolina boy. Actually, you know what? Yes, I'm a South Carolina boy, but I was born, raised, and trained in the
In
DMV.
DMV. That's what's
Absolutely,
up. That's what's up.
absolutely.
So again about your bio,
Hmm.
it was long, not to be funny.
Right, right, right.
It was long because of all your accomplishments. And when I say he's a big deal, I want y'all to listen to this. I had to condense your bio because
Sure.
I really want to share it with people, right? I had to condense it and kind of like put it in my own words. So listen to this. He's the visionary founder and pastor of the Covenant Church in Annapolis, Maryland. And his journey is rooted in a deep legacy of worship and faith, thanks to his amazing parents.
Absolutely.
From leading praise and worship in his early days to serving faithfully for over 26 years, Pastor Hunt has worked alongside gospel legends like Pastor Kim Burnell. It
Kim,
is pastor, isn't it?
well, yeah, she's still a pastor, Pastor Kimberell. Yeah, she's
I had
still
to
a
break
pastor.
the introduction for
Oh
that. Just
yeah,
want to
oh
make sure
yeah,
I'm saying it right.
yes. She was a pastor of a ministry, but she's doing it now. She's serving as a pastor in music now.
A pastor in music. Okay, I'm gonna read that line one more time.
Sure.
So Pastor Hunt has worked alongside gospel legends like Pastor Kim Burnell and Burrell and Dr. Judith McAllister.
Yep.
He's been named Choir Director of the Year and named one of Kojik's 20 under 40 achievers. And trust me, he earned every bit of it because of your accomplishments. What truly sets him apart, though, is his heart. You don't just see his love for ministry or his passion for reaching souls, you feel it.
Right.
You really feel it. The presence of God he carries is undeniable, and the atmosphere shifts the moment he walks in the room. And he's not doing it alone. He got his ride or die, his
That's
high
right.
school sweetheart, Lady Latasha Hunt, right by his side. Together, they're shaking things up and sparking revival everywhere they go.
Wow. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, you
Tag
got a
team partner.
bad one on your side
Tag
now.
team partner.
You got
Tag
a
team.
bad one.
Absolutely.
Yes, you do. And again, like I said, thanks for being on the podcast.
Sure.
But I want to set the stage
Sure.
before we get into your actual testimony. I think that people out there, if they don't know the statistics behind suicide prevention, this is a good opportunity to put it in there because
Absolutely.
it's needed to
Yes.
hear right before you get into
Sure.
your testimony, right? So listen to this. In 2023 alone, 49,000 Americans died by suicide.
Wow.
One death every 11 minutes. Then it says 12.8 million adults reported serious suicide thoughts, with 3.7 million making plans and 1.5 million attempting suicide. Unbelievable, right? This is one I think might get you. It's the second leading cause of death among people aged 10 to 34.
Wow.
The second leading death. And you've been a football coach from the babies all the way up to college.
College. Yep.
I always wonder, like, what do they really be going through?
Whoo. These. Yeah. You want me to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, so from a lot of people say, well, these kids, what, they don't pay any bills, they don't have any wants, any needs, but a lot of them, what they're experiencing is what they're experiencing at home. The parents, they bring their kids to what I've experienced over the years. A lot of parents bring their kids, whether they want to play or not, they bring them as a break for them. Or they bring them, mothers will bring their sons as a way of toughening them up. But really, the child really don't want to play football. Instead of finding something, taking a moment to find out what your child is good at or may what to do, they in their mind, well, I see such and such they made millions. Maybe my son can be the next millionaire. And that child has no bone in his body that wants to play football. So then they go and they play football. They get hurt, they get traumatized. Here's another thing. They're watching the different people come in and out of the home. They're watching, they're there with their mother, watching their mother struggle without the father, or the father, because we always put it on the mothers. A lot of times there are fathers that are struggling without the mother around. I've dealt with that, where the mother has left and walked out, and that child, that son wanting the love of his mother, and those things like that cause you to slip into, and I'm gonna talk about it, but suicide is a progression. It starts from a thought or from a feeling one way, then you start feeling something else, then you start feeling something else, and then your mind starts changing, and then before you know it, the enemy will have you thinking, you know what? I don't want to be here no more. The easiest way for me to end the pain is to end my life. And so these young people, it's literally starting at that 10-year-old age, when they're discovering themselves, when they're finding out who they are and who's around them, who's loving me, who's being there, who's not there.
Right.
And a lot of times the enemy will have them thinking about who is not there versus who is there.
That's good. That's
So,
really good. And then I think about how, we 80s babies.
yes,
So we grew up in a time frame where there wasn't a lot of social media.
no,
So now it's a lot of cyberbullying that you have to
yes,
go through.
it's happening.
And I know that makes some of them depressed.
Yes.
And I know you heard some of the news that a lot of children are committing suicide because of bullying.
Yep.
We didn't have that social media presence like they do now. So that contributes too. But it's like
It's
when
more widespread.
Exactly.
It's more widespread. Like when we were growing up, bullying was us sitting in class and people talking about you. But those 30, maybe 30 max kids in that one class is hearing it. Now, those 30 plus kids, plus the other classes, plus the world, after seeing your pictures, social media, they're putting pictures out, they're putting videos out. Now you got a bigger, wider range of people being seen, being talked about, and being seen being talked about. So yeah, it's tough now.
Yeah, this is like a whole separate podcast in itself.
Oh
We can
yeah,
talk about
for
this.
sure. We can stay there.
We can stay here,
Right.
and I know your love for children too. So I know
Absolutely.
we can stay here. We can think of some things that can help other
Absolutely.
children, especially
Absolutely.
your is it a LLC?
Yes, next up DMV.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna save that for another time.
Sure, I'm with it. I'm with it. Absolutely.
But that the second leading cause of death among 10 through 34 blew my mind.
My God.
It blew my mind. So it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Listen to this one. Men die by suicide nearly 4 times more than women, despite making up half the population.
Wow.
That one really stuck right there.
I can understand it. I can understand it. By the men that I've deal with the young men, I can understand it. It's so much pressure on men. It's a lot of pressure on men, and yeah, that's another
Right.
whole separate.
But you know what I thought of when
What's
I saw
that?
this? One, the people that I know of that either was successful at committing suicide or tried to, it was 4 men and 1 woman.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I was just blown away.
Yes.
And then another thing, 'cause when you said pressure, it made me think about why are we still telling our sons to man up?
That's what I'm saying.
I know that it's good. Some people have good intentions,
Right.
when they say that.
Right.
But it's teaching them to emotionally shut down.
Yeah.
So we need to stop telling our sons to
Yes.
man up
And talk.
and talk it out and,
Yes.
and feel the emotion, process it.
Right.
Because you can't man up through depression and trauma.
That's right.
You can't do it.
And that's why those numbers are so high. When you're holding in those things, it's like holding in anger. When you hold in anger, you lash out. But when you hold in anger and stuff within yourself, you decide to take yourself out of the equation.
And speaking of, you say take yourself out of the equation. Firearms remain the most common method
Yep.
used in over 50% of suicide. So when I was in high school, my friend Andre committed suicide, and it was by, a gun. He was trying to fit in with the it crowd,
Right.
and he got into trouble. right? And so he became depressed about that trouble. Hold on, I just spit. He became depressed about that trouble that he
Yeah.
got into. And also his mom at the time married another man, so it was at home problems as
Right.
well. And so he used to ride with me to work. We all worked at the Pentagon together. The one that day that he committed suicide, he was looking for me at school, but I wasn't there. I didn't go to school that day. I went straight to work. And so when I got to work, everything was fine until the next day when I showed up at school. And while I was at school, I was wondering why everybody was just looking at me differently. I'm walking through the halls, they looking at me, and I'm like, why y'all looking at me?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so when I first got to my first class, the announcements came on.
Oh.
And then the principal had announced, we have grief counseling. This person has passed. If you talk to a grief counselor, please come to such and such office, whatever.
Right.
And at the time, after she said that, that's when somebody knocked at my door, at my classroom door.
Yes.
And he says, Tiffany, is Tiffany here? The principal wants to see her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just blown away. That's
Wow.
how I found out.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly how I found out.
And now people are finding out via social media. It's being posted.
Yeah, that goes back to
Yeah,
that.
this social media. It's supposed to be used for good, but a lot of times it's being used for bad. And yeah, that's something that I speak with. I talk to with a lot of young men now, especially our sports teams, not allowing social media to take us down a road we don't need to be.
Right.
And so that's who, yeah.
That was
Oh,
tough.
I know that's tough.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was really tough. I try not to think about that anymore because during that time I didn't really know how to process.
Right.
And so what I did was I took that and put it in the back of my, back here
Right.
until other things traumatically happened in my life. And then that's when everything said,
Yes.
and then my depression just went.
But do you see how that happens? Do you
Yeah.
see how depression is built up? One thing will happen, you put it, and because we don't talk about it, we push it to the back. Then something else happens, we push that to the back. Imagine pushing all these things, and then it springs out, and then it springs out at the wrong time, and then before we know it, we're going from happy thoughts to, you know what? Why do I feel like this?
Right.
You're keeping those things in that's causing your man. That's why, and I tell people all the time, especially TCC, I tell them all the time, we have to pray for our mind because that's the thing that the enemy wants to take. He's not worried about your body. He's not worried about your feet. He's not worried about your hands. Because if he can get here, everything else will fall.
That's true.
Whew.
That's true. All right, so the last statistics of today. Even faith communities are immune to this issue. In fact, the stigma surrounding mental health and suicide within some religious contexts can make it challenging for individuals to seek help. What do you think about that?
The church ministry should be a place where people can run. When I say this, I'm just imagining someone pushing the doors open of a church and running in and saying, "Oh my God, I made it. I'm in a safe place. Someone help me." That's how it should be. They should be. It's almost like they're running down a burning street, and they make their way into a church, and they're like, "Who? I made it to help to what we used to call it when we played tag." Home base.
Home base.
It should be that. So that's disheartening to hear that that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. And when I see, like on social media, when this pastor committed suicide or this big person within the
Yes.
church has committed suicide, it's mind boggling. And it makes me think that, because people see us as people of faith,
Yeah.
do they think that if they share with other people that they're struggling and they need help, will others think that their faith is not intact? Is that the reason why they probably don't say anything,
Well,
or they decide to
I think a
swallow
lot
it
of
down?
times people outside of the church find reasons not to trust the church. But on our end, we don't give a lot of people an opportunity to earn that trust. We, I think a lot of times we spend so much time inside the four walls that we don't offer that opportunity. They don't see us outside enough to know that is a safe space or a safe place to come. So I understand that theory, but I also believe that it's our fault because we're inside so much that people aren't going to feel comfortable. We gotta take away the excuses. Let me say it like that.
Okay.
We've got to take away all the excuses, and the excuse is, well, and we've got to be trained
Yes,
on how to deal with those type
that's
of
true.
people, because a lot of times we're going off of me saying I'm a pastor and I can help everybody. No, that is not it. Because and we should really pull on outside sources
Yes, that part.
that do this to train us to deal with it,
That
deal,
part.
deal with people that are struggling like that. But instead, we want to do it our way, and we do it because we want to feel like we are everything. And that's not the case. We need to use the professionals that have gone to school to either come in to do it or to train us on what to look for, how to respond,
Right.
and what to say.
And what to say.
Whew,
That's a big part.
it's the what to say.
And the
And
body language too,
oh my
because
God,
oh my
yes,
God, if you
yes,
the
yes.
body language speaks loud. Because if I'm telling you a story or I'm telling you how I'm feeling, and you look at me like, "Why are you feeling like that?
Yeah,
Why don't you just go
because
read
you
your
don't feel like that.
Bible?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's gonna.
Why don't you just
Yeah,
lay your thing, your what is it? Lay your problems at the altar and leave them there. We can do that.
yeah.
But we also need to talk to somebody.
We definitely do. We definitely do. And it made me think about like at work. I think it was a year ago. I was, it was stressful at work. And one of the senior executives asked me if I could be a part of a coaching, like a palette.
Okay,
You know, when they just get a group of people and say, "Hey, try this," and then tell us the outcome.
right,
So I was a part of the coaching program in a way that I was being coached. So when I was going through some tough times with my supervisor, I would go back and talk to this coach, and it was like therapy.
yes,
So I say all that to say this. I even think that pastors and leaders need to have therapists to even process what's being told to you all.
absolutely.
Because me sitting around hearing other people's problem, it becomes a weight for me.
I was getting ready to say you're taking on
Yeah.
everyone. You're just attaching everyone, and that's why.
On
Oh,
top of yours.
on top of what
So it's
you're
a
already dealing with.
compounding effect, right? You just it's and if you don't know how, excuse me, if you don't know how to release it, it's just like it's just heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy, and you can't just deal with it.
Yes.
I know I can't anyway. But
I agree that whole. I found out. I started classes this fall at Bowie State. I found out through my program that we have free therapy.
oh wow,
We can do free therapy sessions, and so I told the young lady, my advisor, I said I'm going to be talking to you this week to find out what how that works,
that's
and
good.
because I don't want to take on someone else's problems and try to help, and then I can't help because I can't even think straight. God is now it's almost like God has commissioned us to, all right, now you're the leader, so you've got to get yourself together. You got to find a way to get yourself together so you can help my people. And if we don't take that on, then we're going to be like those other leaders that have,
Yeah,
and yeah,
lost hope.
they keyword lost hope.
You lost hope. So, okay, all right, for real now.
Sure,
Before we dive in to
okay,
the heart of your your story,
sure.
let's take it back just a little bit. Can you paint the picture of what life looked like before you tried to make that attempt? Like, how old were you? Were you
Sure.
going through some external factors like trauma, depression, or external, like financial problems, stuff like that?
I was 22,
Oh,
22 years old.
okay.
Yes. I think, and I think I took on a lot of things that I may not have should have. Well, with all of the accolades, with all of the things I was doing. So I started teaching music. I started directing, doing all those things at the age of 14. With that, I had to deal with a lot of individuals that were older than me that really did not, you know, respect me in that area. You're 14, you're 15, you're 16, you're 17. I became the praise and worship leader at my father's church, New Community, at the age of 17. Even still, people were like, "Are you?" Matter of fact, someone literally went to my father and said, "Are you sure the Lord told you to do that?" Yeah, are you sure? You sure the Lord told you to
Sorry,
do
my
that?
facial expression.
It's real. And so all of those factors of, I'm a middle child, me trying to prove myself, me trying to being told that I'm not good enough, being told that, oh, you're not, you can't do this. Or, and then on top of that, I struggled in school.
Oh wow.
I struggled. I
Never
barely
thought.
graduated high school. I found out the last day of my senior year and I thank God. I wish I can find her. I wish I had a way to contact her. But Miss Whitmire, she was my chemistry teacher. My father came in for a what are those things? Those parent
Parent
teacher
teacher
meetings,
conference.
and he got to her, and she was like, "Mr. Hunt, like if Mike does not complete this packet, this thick
Good gracious.
of work,
And you know how
this was
thin papers are?
right. This was like the beginning of April. If he does not complete this packet by May, he's going to fail my class, which means he's going to have to redo the my 12th grade." And so my father was upset, but he said, "It's fine. He's going to get it done." I did all that. I found out I was graduating, but I literally had to find out the last day of school that I was graduating. So that was all a struggle. Like me trying to prove myself, me trying to discover who I was, discover um, who Michael is going to be.
Wow.
And yeah, I
Pressure.
know it. Yeah, it was a lot of pressure.
The pressure.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. All right. So go ahead and walk us through the moment.
So yeah, woohoo. So it was I can't remember what day of the week it was, but I do remember that it was sunny outside, warm weather. It was clear. To some, you would call it like a perfect day. It was like beautiful outside. A lot of times when people think of someone trying to commit suicide, oh, it's rainy, it's gloomy,
Yeah.
snowy. No, it was a
Wow.
beautiful day outside. And um, I was living in my parents' basement. I think I was the last one at home. I had my brother, my older brother. He had moved out. He had gotten married, moved out. I had a cousin. He had gotten married. He moved out, and so it was literally just me in the basement. I'm used to always being around people. I'm used to always being around. But by that time, I was the only one there. My dad was at some appointments. My mother was at work. I can't remember where my sister Kim was. I can't remember where she was, but it felt like I was there in the house by myself that day.
Isolation.
Yes. And I was already struggling that day. I had been dealing with depression during that time because I felt like I was not good enough for anything. Imagine having, and this is how the enemy will work. You can have everything and everyone around you. I was driving a brand new car. I had a job making great money.
Wow.
I was living in an entire basement the size of an apartment, rent free. 22 years old. Everything I brought in, I banked it. My car note, I didn't even have to pay my car note. My dad, my parents, they paid it. So I think the only thing I may have had to pay for was my insurance, my car insurance. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any cares. But I was struggling mentally. So again, this is the thing that when I share this, that I try to really put emphasis in. There was nothing from an outsider perspective. There was nothing or no reason for me to be depressed. There was no reason for me to be struggling because I had it good. Both my parents were still together. Both my parents are living. I come from a great family. My
Right.
father's a pastor. My mother is an evangelist. I have everything that you would think someone that's not struggling would have. But the enemy had my mind so messed up because I felt worthless. I felt like, again, after dealing with the whole struggle of depression, I'm sorry, the struggle of barely graduating. I went to the College of Southern Maryland for a semester or two and was put on academic probation because I couldn't keep up with the work. I went to school for recording engineering. I graduated with a certificate, but there was no job placement. There was nothing. So I was literally just working other jobs. And while still dealing with it, I'll be honest, I was being told, like, Mike, every time I made an accomplishment, someone always brought back the failures that I had. I would do something good. Oh, that's good. But remember, you almost failed high school.
Dang.
I would do something great. Oh, yeah, but remember, you didn't do this. That's good, but don't get too big because you are still.
Wow.
So what it did was, in the wrong way, it made me push to get more accomplishments in hopes
That you
that
would feel good enough.
feel good enough and that others would make me feel good enough.
That part.
But the more I did, the more it seemed like it pushed more people away. I would get pulled and called on to do things and to be places. And instead of people being happy for me, it made them more mad at me.
They were jealous. I'm sorry.
That's a good word. Envious is a good word.
Yeah. Covet.
How are you getting
Was
that?
it covetousness?
Covetousness, yes.
Yeah, I be saying it.
like, how are you getting that?
Mm-hmm.
You barely passed high school.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go to college.
Right.
How are you getting this? And those times I should have been going to someone, especially leading, being over music.
Yeah.
14 years old. I remember sitting in rehearsals and I'm hearing. You remember Drumline, the movie Drumline? So the guy, what's his name? Nick Cannon played the character that he couldn't read music.
Right.
But if you showed him one time,
Yeah.
that was me in music. I couldn't read music, but I can hear it. I can hear when something is off. I can hear when something's right, when something's wrong. And I remember times I'd be like, hey, those notes are wrong. Boy, be quiet. I'm doing it the right way. That part is like, wait a minute. So am I really hearing what I'm hearing?
Mm-hmm.
It was never, I was never in a place sometimes to be pushed up. But in those times where everyone else that didn't, in a sense, and I hope you get what I say, didn't matter to me, pushed me up. The ones that I cared about were like, So all of those things, all of those thoughts, all of those, all of those things of constantly feeling like I have to keep proving myself. And no matter what I do, it's still not good enough for people. That right there caused me to slip into a depression. And as I remember asking one day, not that day, I remember asking one day, what more do I have to do?
Oh my God.
What
You
more?
asked someone, or
I
you
said
were
this,
just,
I yelled this.
you were just by yourself.
I was by
or
myself.
You
and
were
I,
asking God,
I,
maybe,
I,
or
I just started talking to myself. What more do I have to do? What do I have to, what do I have to do for people to respect me, to respect what God is doing? Because a lot of this stuff, matter of fact, everything that I've gotten, I never put myself up. And even now, I find myself just sitting back. And if it's for me, and I remembered the time that part of the training that I received from my father / pastor. If you don't have to push your way. Not, he used to say to me, not by might,
I
nor
like
by
that.
power, but by my spirit, saith the
Oh, I
Lord.
love
So
it.
that would make me sit back and say, God, if and I would go to rehearsals, I would go to different events, go to different things, and people, I would sit back and they would find me. Hey, you can do this, can't you? And I said, God, but even out of all of that, it was people that I didn't really see. You know what I mean? Let me say it like this: the ones that I wanted to do
That part, that right there.
they weren't the ones doing it. It was the people that didn't know me. They were the ones. And so I remember, like I said, I remember saying one day, God, what more, or not God, but what more do I have to do?
Right.
And so everything that could go right did go right outside. But inside, once you catch that,
I catch it.
everything outside was great. But inside,
You said my line. I was gonna. That's my thing. Catch that.
yeah,
He said, I'm sorry. You said it.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Everything outside was, and I feel like that's the way it was set up. That's the way the setting was set. It was perfect outside, but everything on the inside. I was inside the house, in the basement, the lowest part of the house. And while I was in the lowest part of the house, I was in the lowest part of my mind. Outside, everybody saw, ooh, but inside, I was in the lowest part of my life. And I was sitting there and I said, you know what? I wonder if everyone if I'll, how will everybody deal without me being here? Can they continue? Will they continue? Because at this point, it's no point in me being here. Let me just go in. I think the easiest way to not deal with all this stuff that's going in my mind is just to eliminate myself out of the equation. I'll get out your way. Y'all can have it.
Part 1 was really good, y'all, but don't miss part 2. We're going to unveil the crucial moments that led to Pastor Hunt's suicide attempt and how God intervened at just the right moment. I'll see y'all for part 2.